Imposter Syndrome. A collection of feelings of inadequacy that persist despite evident success. People with imposter syndrome suffer from chronic self-doubt and a sense of intellectual fraudulence that overrides any feelings of success or external proof of their competence. During the loneliness and isolation of 2020 and the COVID-19 quarantine, I found myself at my lowest point. A point so low and a point so long that I felt as if I would remain that way forever. However, through time and lots of therapy, I found myself able to keep myself up on my feet again. Albeit frigid and still learning to adjust, I was improving, and it honestly felt really good. Old habits became older, and I started to feel better. I started up old hobbies. I started playing games for fun again. I began drawing just like I used to and started to improve. I even began making music again as well, and even started to do okay in school. However, I began feeling this cold feeling deep back in my mind. I became so conditioned to how I functioned during quarantine, where I truly didn't feel like myself anymore. My successes of progress and improving with better habits just felt wrong. I began falling again. I stopped drawing, I stopped playing music. I just didn't feel like myself when I was doing okay. That was until February 20th, 2022, when I noticed a new game trailer pop up on my recommended on YouTube, titled Elden Ring. Now, I'd never heard of Elden Ring before, and I saw it gaining quite the traction on YouTube, so I just decided to check it out.
Begin your adventure and reveal its secrets for yourself. Rise, Tarnished. Rise and become the Elden Lord.
This game looked beautiful, and let's just say this trailer gained my attention very, very quickly. So I immediately looked up more about it, and I noticed this was made by the same people who made Dark Souls. Now, I'm not new to gaming by any means, so hearing the name Dark Souls already will tell you that this game is gonna be hard. Like, really hard. And to be honest, it really intimidated me in the beginning. I've never played a Dark Souls game before. Hell, I'd never even seen one be played before. I only knew about their relative complexity and, of course, its unforgiving difficulty. But just something about this game made me really, really interested. The setting was beautiful, its story seemed even better, and the offer to rise and become Elden Lord just seemed extremely enticing. So I said screw it, and I bit the bullet and bought the game a few days later, and what I was met with was possibly the best blind gaming experience I'd ever played. The story was nothing short of phenomenal, the gameplay was absolutely peak, and the exploration was perfection. But if you're here for a review, my answer is 10 out of 10. But I'm not here for a review. I wanted to speak on how this game just truly changed me as a person, and made challenges seem possible, and made me feel like a real breathing person once again. The further I played into the game, I began to see Elden Ring and its story and its characters more as paintings. The more I looked and challenged these characters and studied the story, the more I found deeper meaning within. And it felt as if those paintings reflected how I felt, further and further. And the painting that I felt reflected me the most was Margit, the Felled Omen.
In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Now, I accidentally stumbled upon this area while just exploring and was a bit intimidated by this character's presence as the orchestra began and the cello swayed in a menacing tone, down to the way this creature spoke, speaking of a flame of ambition. It felt as if it called to the very reason I started playing, the idea of becoming Elden Lord, my ambition to become the greatest tarnished and claim the Elden Ring. But, it would be an understatement if I were to say Market beat my ass. This dude took over 38 attempts to finally beat. I spent the better part of 2 hours, 3 hours just getting frustrated as this creature taunted me. But for the first time in a long time, his challenge enticed me. I wanted to fight him. I wanted to overcome this challenge, and I was willing to learn every bit of his moveset until I learned. And then I did it. I beat Margit, the Fell Omen. I finally bested him. I watched this bastard fall to his knees and fade away and felt an overwhelming sense of accomplishment. I stood up from my desk and walked around in excitement, celebrating what I did. For the first time in a long time, challenges felt fun again. I beat a hard boss. For the next week, I kept moving. I made it to Stormvale Castle and challenged the decrepit demigod, Godric the Grafted, and I beat him in 3 attempts. I was getting better. I was improving, and it felt good. It felt right. I felt like a kid again, beating a hard level in Mario or besting my brother finally in Superhero Squad on the Wii. Everything started to feel right. And I didn't even realize it, but I started to apply this to real life. A big test would be coming up, and instead of being scared, I would tell myself that I was the lowly tarnished, playing as a lord who bested Margit the Fell Omen, or Godric the Grafted, or Renala, the Queen of the Full Moon. With every boss I defeated, I began to believe in myself and believe challenges were possible, and the impossible was possible. With the game's theme as well, you're not some cowering protagonist escaping with luck and chance. You are the Tarnished, trying to seek the Elden Ring and become Elden Lord. The theme is heroic and strong, and you want to become the best, and you have to earn your victory. With each and every victory you earn, it feels just as good as the last. But fighting Margit especially felt like I was facing that imposter syndrome. That force opposing my progress, that boss that had too much health and will beat you down repeatedly. I was facing the imposter syndrome I struggled with, where it told me I had too much ambition and was smoldering with this meager flame. Finally defeating Margit felt as if I finally showed that bastard I'm not just some tarnished and I'm not just playing as a lord. It felt like I was a hero again. I felt like a better person. I felt like I was defeating the bad guys and showing them that they're wrong and I can improve. And you can kick me down 37 times, but I will beat you the 38th. I kept playing this game and thought nothing could stop me. I mean, that was until I arrived at the Erd Tree.
Graceless, tarnished. What is thy business with these thrones? Ah, Godric the Golden. The twin prodigies, Mikola and Melania. General Radahn, Praetor Rykard, Luna Princess Rani, willful traitors, all. Thy kind are all of a piece. Pillagers, emboldened by the flame of ambition. Have it writ upon thy meager grave. Felled by King Morgoth, last of all kings.
An overwhelming sense of dread filled my body as I once again witnessed that very monster from the beginning of my journey stand in front of me once more, and felt a great fear return as memories flooded back to fighting Margit. Now this creature returns as Morgoth, and I couldn't have been more intimidated. His words flooded my mind. I kept flashing back to the last time as his taunting grew louder and louder as we clashed in a daring battle.
I shall remember thee. Thy kind are all unleashed. Put these foolish ambitions to rest. I shall remember thee. Tarnished. Put these foolish ambitions to rest. Put these foolish ambitions to rest. Put these foolish ambitions to rest. Put these foolish ambitions to rest.
And then I did it. I defeated Morgoth, Margit, whatever you want to call him. There was nothing in my way anymore. That fear, that doubt, all that self-loathing left when I saw what I embodied as that imposter syndrome fall to the floor in defeat. But eventually I did beat Elden Ring, including all the hard bosses like Melania, Blade of Miquella, Malekith, and even the annoying as fuck Godskin duo. But I couldn't have been happier to stumble across this random game so long ago, and to have been introduced to my favorite game of all time, and to experience my first FromSoftware game in such a beautiful and amazing fashion. I used to be confused on why a FromSoftware game was so difficult and why it needed to be hard, but now I get it. It's because of the challenge that makes these games so good. It's because of the game's ruthless difficulty where you find worth in success. It's that bellowing scream released once you land the killing blow. That's what makes it all so worth it. So, for the team at FromSoftware and Bandai Namco, thank you for delivering an amazing game and an even better experience. So, smolder on with thy meager flame, Tarnish, and have a good night. Oh, and also Miyazaki. Where is DLC? Please give me DLC. I need